Oftentimes we read our Bibles and we just blow by things. And as we blow by them, we lose some of the great practical principles of teaching that God gives to us, even about business. Now, let me share you a passage from Ezra chapter 8, beginning with verse 26. This study is about accountability, turnovers, acceptance of responsibility. Look at verse 26. Then I weighed the treasure as I gave it to them and found the totals to be as follows: 24 tons of silver, 7,500 pounds of silver, and 7,500 pounds of gold. So before he turns something over to somebody and put it into their responsibility, as the one giving the responsibility, he weighed it out. So there would be no question as to how much silver did I give you? How many silver articles did I give you? How much gold did I give you? He weighed it out before he transferred it. And then in verse 29, guard these treasures well until you present them to the leading priests, Levites, and leaders of Israel, who will weigh them at the storerooms of the Lord's temple in Jerusalem. So he said, all right, you're going to be entrusted with this until you get to Jerusalem. And these are the people you're going to turn it over to, and they're going to weigh it again. And then they do so. Verse 31, we broke camp at the Ahava Canal on April 19th and started off to Jerusalem. And the gracious hand of our God protected us and saved us from our enemies and bandits along the way. So we arrived safely at Jerusalem, where we rested for 3 days. On the 4th day after our arrival, the silver, the gold, and valuables were weighed at the temple of our God and entrusted to Meremoth, the son of Uriah, the priest, and to Eleazar, son of Phinehas, along with Jozabad, the son of Jeshua, and Nodiah, the son of Biduel, both of whom were Levites. Everything was accounted for by number and by weight, and the total weight was officially recorded. So notice, when you receive the responsibility, the person who's giving you the responsibility weighs it out. When you turn over the responsibility to somebody else, you weigh it out and turn over exactly the right amount, and the amount is recorded. And then in verse 30, so the priests and the Levites accepted the task of transporting these treasures of silver and gold to the temple of our God in Jerusalem. Now look at that. Responsibility must be accepted. The person who's giving the responsibility weighs it out and totals everything, and you accept what has been weighed out in front of you. And then the person who takes that responsibility takes it where it belongs and then weighs it out or counts it out again and turns it over to the people they've been told to turn it over to, where it is weighed out and counted again, and it is recorded. Now, sometimes people laugh at us because at COP we have counting procedures and we have counting policies for the offerings. And people get upset with us because they say, you have too many rules. No. Boundaries are not about controlling us. Policies are not about controlling us. They're about protecting us. And I want you to notice policies were in place about acceptance of responsibility, about how to receive the responsibility, about who to turn over the responsibility for, how to make sure that everything is accounted for again, and how to make sure everything is recorded again. These are principles of business that God teaches in the Word. Let's learn the practical things from the Scripture also. In everyday life, we have to remember these basic principles of the Word. When people hand you money, they should count it out in front of you. When you turn over money to somebody, you should count it out in front of them. You should never be forced to accept a responsibility. You should say, yes, I will accept that responsibility. And you should always have good records. Now, this is how to maintain your reputation in a corrupt world.